up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you could be notified when we put out new content, that would be appreciated also. So, today we're going to unbox or open up a new album, or this is a reissue, of an album that was released 20 years ago, and it is by Mariah Carey. And it is the 20-year anniversary edition of the Emancipation of Mimi. So I know inevitably there's going to be somebody that comments, "Oh, I thought this is a rock show on the rock channel." Anyway, I digress. So I'm a fan of a lot of different kinds of music, and if you go through my channel, you'll see mostly rock, but you'll see there's a lot of other things too. And I'm a big fan of Mariah Carey. I liked her, when I was like 14 and her first record came out, I thought it was amazing. And I've listened to her here and there over the years, but over the last few years, and a lot of it's due to like the Christmas album, let's be real, I've really gotten back into her. And this one it wasn't anything I had on my radar, but it kept coming up like in my Facebook feeds and everything else that it was coming out. And then I actually just happened to see it when I was in the record store last Friday. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. And we'll make a cool video, and we'll talk about a really cool, really almost like a comeback album for her back in 2005, because she had varying levels of success for a few years with like Glitter and some of those other albums that came out in the early 2000s. But she made a huge comeback with this one. Debuted at #1 on the charts. I think it's currently certified at 7 times platinum, and really just reestablished her as one of the biggest artists in the world. So anyway, there you go. Front cover of the Emancipation of Mimi. Back cover with another pretty picture of Mariah and the track listing. And there's a bunch of bonus tracks and stuff like that on the second record here. So really cool. And I know there's other versions of this. I want to say there's like even a bigger box set that has even more stuff. Like a bigger vinyl set or whatever that has even more stuff than what this does. Let's see if I can get this open. There we go. All right. There's no hype sticker or anything like that to speak of. Nothing to read there. And this is actually on the. So I didn't know this until I actually dug around on Wikipedia a little bit. I knew there was a whole thing with her original record label and her ex-husband and all that stuff. But I don't know. I guess given my greatest hit sets and whatever else that I have, all being under the Sony label, I didn't realize this particular album was under the Island Universal. But there it is, and produced by Mariah Carey and L.A. Reid. And there's some other people involved there too. But anyway, there you go. Front cover with the cellophane removed. Back cover again. Let's open up the gatefold. Oh, all sorts of what I assume are just lyrics, liner notes, whatever else. So yeah, a lot to read, in there. I'm gonna need better glasses and a flashlight or something to be able to read any of that, but we'll do that on my own time. All right, so let's go ahead and see what these records look like. I don't see any extra inserts or anything like that, and this looks like this is pretty standard black vinyl. But anyway, there you go. If you look in the middle there, it just says Mariah, the Emancipation of Mimi. And then, of course, on the back, just same thing. All right, 180 gram vinyl. And as much as I think a lot of these different kind of splatter vinyls and swirls and all that kind of stuff are really cool, there is something to be said about just beautiful black vinyl. So, all right, let's see. I don't see any inserts or anything on the other side. I'm assuming the record looks exactly the same, but we'll look at it anyway. There you go. All right, Mariah, the Emancipation of Mimi, second record. Same as the first. All right, so let's put this all back together. And we can talk about this record just for a second. Now, I will be the first to admit, I am not super familiar with this album. Like I said, I liked her in the early days, and then I've recently gotten back into her, and I think I have I have the Christmas album, and I have like that #1 to Infinity album, which has a couple songs from this album on it. But I do remember when this came out. I remember the video for like We Belong Together, and I can't remember what the other single was. I think It's Like That or something like that, or Shake It Off. I remember some of those videos and Mariah looking absolutely stunning, for lack of a better word. So, but anyway, yeah, cool songs, and really reestablish her as one of the biggest artists in the world. Again, selling like over, I think, 7 million copies in America and maybe 12 worldwide. I think that's what I read on Wikipedia earlier. So yeah, check it out. Like I said, I just kind of bought this just for the heck of it. I saw it there, and again, it kept coming up on my social media feed. So I saw it, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? And it's fun to unbox it, and it's just fun. Like I say, I have a lot of different kinds of music in my collection, and I thought this was really cool. So check it out, whether you check it, on vinyl or one of the bigger box sets, or you just stream it like a lot of people do these days. Give this one another listen, especially now with this new remastered deluxe edition, whatever. So again, there you go. The Emancipation of Mimi. That's all I've got for you this time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I put out new content. I've got the rest of my Unboxing the Vinyl series where we open up reissues, anniversary editions, new albums, deluxe editions, box sets, whatever. Sometimes they're CDs, most of the time they're vinyl. It just depends on what's coming out. I've got my Lost Classics and Live Album series where we talk about albums that I feel everyone should hear that may have gotten swept under the rug, or, live albums like, great live albums from the past, like 70s and 80s and all that. I've got some concert footage from concerts and festivals over the last several years, and I've even got a couple of short documentary films that I did for school. One is about a local amateur disc golfer friend of mine, and the other is about the fire that took away our home. But as I said in one of my last videos, where we are on the road to finally the rebuild and drywall and all that kind of stuff being done to where we can do our part. Hopefully by the end of the year, beginning of next year, we'll be back in our home and I'll be back in my normal recording space. So anyway, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.